If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not-for-profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Hi, this is DJ Paul G.
And this is DJ 06. And we are the Gospel Blend Brothers. Join us every Friday
from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. for
the Drive Time Gospel Mix.
As we get you to and from your destination.
Vibing on good gospel music.
In the mix.
On WIDU 99.7 FM and 1600 AM. The Drive Time Gospel Mix.
Minutes before the top of the hour here, we have Mayor Mitch Colvin discussing some issues. Again, your arrows can come at me and not him. Producer today, Reverend Paul Matthews,
Paul.
First Baptist, Loverton. Yes, amen. Sir. Historic down there.
Oh,
amen.
Yeah.
Praise be to God. Look, so now let's move. I want to talk about a couple things too. Let's talk about this project. I'm calling it that. That's my words. That would be on the corner of Murchison and Rowan.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
So that's the catalyst site. The city bought it several years ago. We were trying to use it as a spark for development. Bringing these partnerships in, you got Fayetteville State involved, who has a master development agreement with the land, who is looking to expand their footprint down there with either student housing or some type of educational operations. Farmers market and the education behind that, indoor-outdoor farmers market that they're doing with the county, as well as housing. You know, we recently approved that. Spoke to the housing developer yesterday, and he said he got his final approvals in for HUD. He's issuing their bonds, and hopefully by the end of the year there'll be a shovel in the ground, and you'll start to see housing coming out of the ground down there. But that made us a very strong candidate to go back in for this Choice Neighborhoods grant that we came really, really close to a couple of years ago. We were in D.C. this week. City Council and I were in D.C. Making our rounds to HUD and to our congressional, so I had a chance to sit with Congressman Rouser and some of the other ones to see how they can help us to bring that home, that $26 million grant home. But that down on the end will be the catalyst to start and to meet some of this other progress. Just ride down this street. You've been here a while. It doesn't look the same.
Oh, no. I mean,
Fayetteville State is different. To the left and right are different.
Right.
Things are changing here, and you got the community centers, and so it's positive momentum.
So now this developer, that would be public housing?
No,
it won't.
It will be income based. So it's not
income based housing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it'll go up to 80% of median income, which is around 40,000, 35, 40,000, and that covers a lot of people.
Right.
It covers single families, it covers school teachers, it covers some firefighters, it covers some bus drivers. So it will have mixed income, but it is an income based. You can't go higher than that. But that's just one component. If we get those other grants coming in, there's the opportunity to make build new single family homes. There's 35 of those. There'll be homes that people own right there in the area where Elliott Circle is. Tearing that down, rebuilding it between apartments and homes, market rate, single family, and then some with the voucher program.
So now, I'm back to the corner of Mercer.
So 84 units there.
Right. So would they have a relationship with Fayetteville Housing Authority, or that? Totally independent.
Yes, because they manage it, right? But
Right.
the income levels are different.
Okay.
So the public housing, I think, is 60% AMI. So you're able to get more of a mix of income at this one, the way that they're doing that one, and so it is not your traditional public housing situation. And speaking to the developer, he talked about giving it a Bronco theme.
Okay.
Yeah, to how Fayetteville State's colors and how the chancellor's doing some great work with making the aesthetics of Murchison Road look good with the huge LED.
Oh, man.
That's beautiful, man.
It is. I mean, you could be downtown,
Yeah.
and the light, you can catch
see
it all
that,
the way.
yeah.
You could be at the corner of Bragg Boulevard and Rowan.
Yeah.
And I can see that light, right? I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But I guess my question is then, okay, the next question is then, so, because I'm just saying that if, is it akin to what we see on Grove Street and what we see on Campbell Avenue?
Yes, more so the Hope Six. So
The
to
Hope
where,
Six thing.
to where you have seniors, you have people, but the incomes levels will be a little higher,
Okay,
80%,
okay.
or
Right.
can go up to the 80. They still have to have room for kind of a variation of it, but then go up to 80.
It's probably a win, though, for the developer because people will be on a waiting list to get in, probably, right?
Oh, for sure,
right.
sure.
So you're not going to have, if you were a regular
Yeah.
realtor or developer having an empty
No.
apartment.
He'll have pre-leases before he gets going.
Right.
So
moving down the street now to Elliott Circle. So I know you guys had, was that year before last or last year
Yeah.
that you made that submission?
Yeah.
And now back to that. What will that be? Will that be public housing, or is that similar to what you are describing now?
So market it will be a mix. So you'll have some single family development over there
Okay.
for home ownership, not renters.
Okay.
You have the ability to have some renters. So it may be a few apartments or townhomes for renting, and then you will have a project that the housing authority is doing to relocate the people in Rosemary.
Okay, right.
So they've got to and so once they move, they build that, they move the folks from Rosemary there, then they rebuild Rosemary. And so
Right.
really,
Rosemary down the street here.
Rosemary down the street up by McDonald's.
Right. That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Right. Okay.
And in addition to that, you have money that will then help bring some business movement and development on the front streets, right in front of Rosemary. Where you
Right.
see those garages and some of those other areas that have struggled for a bit right there before you get to Pamela on the left and right. Then you have an opportunity there that showed a build out of economic opportunity.
Have you been to South Raleigh anytime lately? Have you seen those houses? They're real tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, you seen those?
Yeah. And people put a house where
That's what I'm
it
saying,
fits,
right? I mean, because I remember, and every time I go, I like to drive through if I have time to see, because, man, they're taking over block by block. Every time I go back, I go there, they've gone a little further, and from the downtown area. I mean, they're taking it block by block, but they have those homes that are real tall and small. Like, as a matter of fact, I saw some in Dunn.
Oh, did you?
Like that last week.
Wow.
And so, I don't know. Are you familiar with that? I mean, what is that?
Yeah, I mean, you see those in Charlotte. So basically, you have the smaller lots.
Right, that's it.
So for you able to get a more density, you go up with.
But they go up,
yeah,
right.
and they go up, and look, people need housing.
Right.
Growing communities have to have it available. When people have an opportunity to move here, like I said, we've got to cut down on that number of folks that are commuting into our community. If there was available housing, I think we could cut into that number. It's about 25 to 26,000 a day coming into our community to work from the various surrounding counties.
Right.
And so, I'm sure they would rather live closer to where they work. And so you have to be creative, and we're going to have to do some of the infill development that you're talking about.
Right.
There's 2 new houses coming up on Jasper Street. I haven't seen new construction on Jasper Street since I was a kid.
Wow.
Yeah, if you as soon as you turn right there on Jasper Street, look to the left. There's two different projects going up simultaneously at the same time. Brand new construction houses.
Well, that's good then.
Yeah.
I mean, because at the end of the day, those are things that attract other things.
Right.
Which we were talking about education also. You would think that. I'm just saying is that now for me, I believe that the biggest issue that the Board of Commissioners would have right now for those would be education. I mean, what are we going to do about education? But some people are trying to make it about, again, I'm not being negative, but they're trying to make it about resurrecting a center downtown, the art center, when I'm like, our kids need good education. I mean, don't we need to fix that? Now, I understand that, people are giving pushback on stuff and the school board, whatever, but they pay the consultant, I mean, and the consultant said this. And so either you're going to do it or not do it. But you would know about that anyway, because y'all have consultants all the time.
Yeah.
And y'all pay them, and then y'all. I'm not picking on you, but
yeah.
And
but,
then they don't like what they say when they come back.
Put it on the shelf.
Put it on the shelf, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so.
Yeah. Well, I think two things. One, you saw the auditor and his whole assessment of Rocky Mount.
Yeah, oh man.
He said they did projects and didn't do the feasibility homework to say if this is viable or not. They just bought a piece of land, right? And didn't have any data to back up the usability of it or if it was a good deal. They were anticipating a casino, and the casino went away, so now they're stuck with a $10 million piece of property.
He's holding the city council.
Yeah, I know.
Ultimately responsible for that. He said, look, I know this guy, the city manager was all that, but y'all should have been giving some oversight to that.
Yeah, and so not to throw them on the bus, because I did see a few Rocky Mount councilmen in D.C., I'll say this, that you have to do the background work. So that feasibility that you're talking about, I'm sure the county did it. We didn't order that. So, I'm not as familiar with it. Like you said, you read it. But to your point, those kind of amenities are the icing for the cake or the cherry on top, right? The cake is your education system that attracts people to your community that have the money and the means to go to DPAC in the first place, right? That if you just drop DPAC in Durham, without any of the other stuff, is it the same? Or Red Hat in downtown Raleigh, is it the same? It's the icing, it's the cherry that goes on top. So I'm glad to see they funded. We were kind of talking tongue in cheek off before the air came on. That I know a friend of mine is a superintendent in a larger county who said that I saw that. That the county said they funded the education request, fully funded their request for the first time. He said that's a norm where I am, And so I'm glad that they did that, right? Because it shows a major commitment to changing that train of thought, and I'm looking forward to them continuing to push the emphasis on making sure these schools are funded so that we can attract. Because if we lose the game, if it comes down between you and another community, the first thing these families and these CEOs and the executives look at is, what's the grading of the schools?
Yeah, because, of course, if you talk about bringing a large industry here, they're going to be looking at the schools. And so you got a place where, but not only, let me come back to that feasibility report. Mm-hmm. Inside that feasibility report, they had all of what your potential competition would be, to include the venue at Pembroke University. Okay. So they're looking around. But look, guess what now? Now that Robeson County has what they have, that's going to be competition for stuff we have here. Logically, it would be.
Yeah.
So if they're down there and they have a casino, and I could see that they could build something a whole lot bigger and better than we would have here. If we had something here, that would be competition, and it would only be 30 minutes away.
Yeah. Well, I think it benefits us to make sure we work with the Lumbees.
Correct. Right.
Because this is an area that is within their footprint. To get them to do some things in Cumberland County that more complement versus that. They've been very intentional down there. If you go to, I'm in Robeson County a couple of times a week, down to Pembroke, and stuff that university has done, they've got an economic development corridor, so to speak, to where they've got these new industries, and them and the Chamber of Commerce and the university are working together, bringing jobs into that area, and the casino and the federal recognition is going to only accelerate that. So we need to figure out how it is that we play our part, that we can work collaboratively with the Lumbee tribe, and got a good relationship with some of them, and hopefully some of the projects that they get out of the ground, they'll consider doing them in Cumberland.
Yeah. Well, you know, I believe that it would benefit us. We have 2 universities here.
Yep.
And a very strong community college.
Yep.
So I'm switching gears now. I'm gonna talk about the criminal justice a little bit. You know, our murder rate still is too high.
Yeah.
People say, well, it's not for so and so, but it's per capita.
Yeah.
We had a house party, which you've dealt with the whole house party thing, in Tiffany Pines over the weekend. 18-year-old, I think he's originally from Hunter County, but what did you guys weren't here then? But I'm saying that was a murder over the weekend.
Yeah,
and you know, the whole house party thing. You know, because
a lot of bad stuff happened at house parties, man. And I remember, we dealt with that.
Yeah, I remember that. That's what I'm saying, right? So that's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
But look, you got criminal justice programs at all 3 institutions, and I believe that they can help us because the police cannot solve all of this by themselves. I mean, what can the police do except respond and try to find the murderer and bring them to justice after the fact?
Right.
But there are things where you can reduce homicide rates and things like that, and we got these people. They ought to be at the table.
Yeah.
I was talking to this guy, John Jay College in New York, and because I wanted him to have some communication with our community. And that's what they do. I mean, they are the experts on this stuff. It shouldn't be on the FPD and the sheriff's office to have to shoulder this all by themselves.
Well, I think you're exactly right. You got a law enforcement background, so you understand that law enforcement's on the response side.
Right.
You know, every now and then you get lucky and get a preventative piece, but it's still responding to something that happened or is about to happen. It's all inclusive. I think our Office of Community Safety is the one place that brings a lot of what the city can do to a certain point. But it's going to take those partnerships. You know, like you said, you've got 2 universities and a great community college with criminal justice programs.
Exactly.
Hadn't thought about what does a comprehensive action plan look like to do it. I mean, we know the areas and the barriers that cause the problem. And then we have to respond to the symptoms of the problem. So I like that idea. I think that you do have to look at, now, as it relates to this specific incident, I don't know the details. I heard it was an Airbnb. I am going to bring something to council to take a look at how many incidents we've had at Airbnbs. Not necessarily targeting Airbnb, but there are people who rent those Airbnbs to have parties. And so if you're a repeat, that we've got a lot of calls for service, or you've had an incident like that tragedy that we had this weekend, Airbnb needs to know what you've just cost this community. The cost of gun violence is about, tell us it's about $400,000 per homicide.
Wow.
So the Cumberland County taxpayers are shouldering that. And so I think Airbnb needs to know that to see if that partnership is worth keeping. But we've got to do what we can, man, but it's very multifaceted. Community center up here with Dr. Hare and Orange Street School, having an opportunity to catch these kids at the core, having parental. But if the criminal justice departments want to come in and help Office of Community Safety with an action plan, I'm all for that.
But actually, I believe that, like at Fayetteville State University, they have a responsibility. I'm talking about the higher ones that there are things that they should be doing.
Yeah.
It's not just remaining on campus. Dealing with the student in front of them,
Right.
I think that they should be involving themselves in the community, and I think that's a part of what they should be doing. Now, when I'm talking to this guy, he was the head of the John Jay criminal justice thing in New York, and I'm on the phone with him, right? And evidently he's in front of his computer, and he says, "Hey, man, how far are you from Leamington?" I said, "About 30 minutes." He said, "Man, that murder rate is higher than it is in Chicago."
Oh yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So it's not like, because now people are looking at us. So our murder rate, that affects our overall image.
Yep.
And people are doing research on everybody now because you have the ability to do that.
Right. And you have to have, just like they find those negative demographics, you have to have the positive ones. So you got to get the education up. You've got to get fully funded schools and school grade and performances up. Look, Charlotte, one of the most prosperous, fastest growing cities in the country.
Yep.
They got a high murder rate, right? For Charlotte. Now it's got 900,000 people, but Charlotte it has had some peak times where violence was pretty heavy, but it didn't stop Bank of America and some of the other ones from investing in it because they had so many other positive attributes to it. So the thing about those studies is, we've looked at it extensively. I don't want more of the same cookie cutter stuff to tell you, you need more community programs, you need more of this, more of that.
No, they're not
what's
like
the
that,
action plan?
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
for us.
I think that when I'm talking to this guy, it's about involving all stakeholders. You know what I mean? It's just that you got to involve.
You have to.
All the stakeholders. Not just elected officials.
Right.
Not just people on a paycheck.
Right.
We all got to be concerned about this because, hey, look, I don't want to be such that I'm gonna get robbed in the middle of the day.
No.
And
people got to feel safe now.
Right, and I'm not gonna walk around with a gun to you like I'm gonna come after me. I'm coming after you. Now, I mean, we don't need to be to that point.
Yeah.
So, but again, I know you guys have a lot on your plate. There's a lot coming at you.
Yeah.
But I would say rely more on us.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people out here that have expertise that might exceed the people that's drawing the check
For sure.
that you're paying.
Yeah, for sure.
And so allow, particularly these schools, they would be glad to do that.
Yeah.
Because these kids need projects anyway, and they can stand there and do the stuff that you're paying somebody else to come fly across country to do, probably hundreds of thousands of dollars to do it.
Well, and that's a great point. Doing a follow-up, that's the good thing about meeting. When I start bringing us all together, Fayetteville State, Fayetteville Tech, and Methodist, and the K through 12, they kind of divide off in the subgroup and have their own conversation. So I think I'm meeting with Dr. Sorrells and Chancellor Allison and maybe Dr. Bracey on later this month. I mention and ask, is that something that they could help this community out with, help us out with? Because when something happens, it's the first thing they say, what's the mayor gonna do about it? But you got a whole lot of other people that we don't have anything to do with. Our district attorney's office. I talked to as I sat in on some panels. For some of these other mayors, listening to Brandon in Baltimore, talked about that they had a way that they identified high-risk people, not just the regular stuff, but they work closely with their schools because, Baltimore City owns the schools, but they work closely with the schools to identify the people who were trending that way.
Sure.
The ones who had violent incidents, the one who had suspension, and they started going early to them to be a little bit more watchful on them. They also, when they have, we have about 100 and so people released a month back from the federal system to Cumberland County or to the area, who's making contact with them. They sent a letter out welcoming them back to the community, but also saying we're expecting you to come back in a positive way and not a negative way. So, there are a lot of things that I think we can do, but I would love to hear what the professionals and what some of the other stakeholders in the community have in mind.
Right. So, but again, making our community better.
Yep.
I don't think that it should totally be shouldered by the folks that put their hand on the Bible and say, I do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution and all those stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be a community effort.
Right.
And with all stakeholders. But anyway, look, winding down, I'll let you get the final say here. Appreciate you coming in and chatting with us. I think that the issues that you're bringing and you're talking about are important for our community.
Yeah.
It's going to be some hit and miss. I mean, everything is not going to be a bullseye.
Yeah.
But, if we keep doing the same old thing,
get the same results.
that's what I believe.
Yeah. Well, that's a fact now. So, no, I appreciate again WIDU, Wes and all he's going through. He makes sure that the community has information and inspiration, and certainly in memory of Sandy, they believed in the community being informed. So I appreciate the opportunity to come in here and talk to you. You ask some good questions and draw, some comments out, and and we'll see if you draw some rapid fire from me and you about the day. But it's good. We did go to DC this week. I want to commend the city council for how they conducted themselves in D.C. We were synchronized. We were a team. Everybody performed marvelously. They were organized. Usually, I don't go to them to the National League of Cities. I'm up there for the mayor's conference, but I'm glad I went, and they made me proud. And I'm thinking that our community will be in a better position because of that. So hats off to the city council. They got back yesterday. So looking forward to great things, man.
Well, we salute you guys, and if you're doing well, we'll pat you on the back. If you step out of line, then we're going to call you, okay? Okay, but look, for those protesters out there and those activists, just send us what you want to do, you know what I mean? I know, because I know y'all want to do something else besides just protest, okay? Anyway.
Troy Williams.
We out here, guys. Take care. Thank you so much.